Hi, in the last video we have seen how to add this breadcrumb to our Plotly dash page, right? Now in this video let us talk about how to add accordion to our Plotly dash page. Now if you remember, like we started with an idea, right? So this particular page, like how neural network learns, so this page actually we are developing to understand like how the neural network is learning, right? So and we are basically taking that handwritten digit example to showcase all these things over here, right? So we are parallelly learning deep learning as well as the Plotly dash together over here. So that's why we are having this particular page over here. Now this is how the page will look like once we complete today's video. So let me show you the screenshot here. So it will look something like this one. So after this breadcrumb, so we'll have this this line over here, okay, like how neural network learns, and we have a small paragraph over here like what we want to do in this particular page. Like in this page we will learn this how a neural network learns through an interactive way, right? We will take this MNIST dataset to classify a handwritten digit, and then first we will try to visualize the MNIST dataset. Then we will work on the training process as well as the testing over here, right? And while doing that, we will try to visualize everything over here. So that's why I wanted to implement it in as an accordion over here. Like if you are not sure what accordion is, if you go to dash bootstrap component page, right, the first component is the accordion one. So like something like you can hide it over here, like just like the accordion work over here, right? So why I did that, because like if you see it, we can easily see the overall processes. Like I still not defined exactly what our steps will be, but this is a rough idea which I am starting with. Probably we will change it accordingly as we move forward. Okay, so first is like there will be three items over here, right? The visualize the MNIST dataset, then the training, and the testing over here. So once I click on this item, probably it will show you like all the MNIST dataset visualized way. Okay, like we can see like what are the input images looks like, how many images are there, those stuff over here. We'll try to understand, we try to get an idea over that. In the model training, if I just click on over here, so we will be basically doing the model training over there, and similar stuff for testing as well. So if I just go back to the documentation for accordion, so creation wise it's very easy. If you can see it over here, you just need this accordion, you just need to have this bootstrap component imported. Then using this dvc.accordion you can create that, and each and every div over here, like this toggle stuff over here is basically the item, right? Accordion item over here, and inside the accordion item, so you can basically create any type of dash elements, like be it a chart or something, you can create it over here. Okay, now if you see, like currently they have created 3 items, so that's why 3 stuffs are coming up over here, right? So now when you will be working with accordion, so there are a lot of configurations like this one over here. Like you can make a particular item active, right, using this active item property. So that will be like on when the page loads over here, right? Even you can set this particular property like start collapsed equals to true, so that when the page loads, all the items will be automatically collapsed over here. Okay, so that also you can do it. Like it's just the properties of accordion over here, and if you see its documentation, it's very self-explanatory over here. Similarly, using this flush, you can basically change its styling, like removing borders, rounding the corners. So a lot of stuff you can do it over here. We'll be using this one. And the important stuff is callback, because anyway when I will be clicking on this one, I want to display, let's say I want to display some graphs over here, right? So that means I need to know which item I have clicked it over here. So for that, so accordion has a property called active item, if you see it. Okay, so for an accordion, whatever accordion object you will be creating, the ID you will be creating. So the active item properties tells me like which one is open currently. Okay, so based on that we can use that stuff in our callbacks. So that's why it is important to give this item IDs over here as well. Okay, if you are not giving, it will automatically assign like item 0, item 1, something like this one. But it's always better to give your corresponding item ID so that you can control, at least your code is readable over there, right? So that's this one. Now there are certain other properties which is very self-explanatory over here, like always open. Like if you set this one, it will be always open over here. Okay, something like if you see it for this one, the item 1 currently is open, right? If I open the item 2, it is still open over here. But if you see it, like if I just do not set it up, so once the item 1 is there, right, I opened it, once I click on item 2, the item 1 is automatically closed over here. Okay, so that's the always open over here, and the active item over here as well, which we already discussed. Okay, so for active item, basically we are using it as a callback. Now all those things just now we discussed, you can find it over here in its documentation over here for accordion and accordion item over here. Okay, so we will do a very small and very easy stuff. So let's create this one here, accordion over here. Okay, so we will follow the same bootstrap grid layout approach, correct? So we will come over here, we will go to our how neural network learns.py, correct? So in our page layout currently we have the navbar breadcrumb and this line over here. We will change this line as well. So before that, let us create that accordion over here. So we will create a variable something like page, we'll say deep, DEEP, deep learning, or let's say DL content over here. Okay, so here means mostly we'll be talking about content here. So mostly we're talking about the DL, deep learning stuff over here, right? So first of all, we will be creating a container here, right? So inside that container we'll be having our rows and columns, correct? dbc dot row over here, right? Now currently we are having a single row because anyway this whole stuff will be in a single row over here. Okay, so let's go back over here. Now inside that row I will be creating dbc dot call over here. Okay, and the whole accordion will be creating inside this call over here. So let's take this one and let's do one thing, let's copy this guy over here. Okay, so I will just do formatting over here, and this will be an HTML div over here, correct? So basically inside that call I have just created a div. If you see it, inside the div I have this accordion with these 3 items over here, right? So let us give a meaningful name as we have it in our screenshot. The first is step 1, visualize the MNIST dataset, right? So step 1 visualize MNIST dataset. Okay, so this is step 1, and in the step 2 we have it this one here, right? Model training, and step 3 is model testing over here. So let's create accordingly. Step 2 we will be having model training, and step 3 will be model testing over here, right? Step 3 is the model testing over here. So this should be enough to display the accordion, but what I need to do is I need to add this guy to my page layout over here. So let's add it over here, And as I said, like each and every item we will be giving an ID over here, right, so that we can access it in our callbacks. So let us try to do a bit formatting over here. Anyway, the first one is the content of that particular div over here, right, which will be changing in the next video. So this one ID, I will be giving some meaningful name. Let's say view visualize the MNIST data set. Okay, and this ID will be Control V. So we need to have a comma over here. We need to have a comma over here. Let's this give ID as training MNIST over here, and this ID for the model testing purpose, this ID let's give the testing MNIST over here. So if I just save it, so let it load. If I just go back over here, so once the deployment is done, so this is coming up something like this one over here, but this is coming as a center because we have not made our container fluid. So if once I make that one, it will be basically taking this space over here. So according your need, you need to basically whatever looks good to you, and according to your need, you can play around with this one, right? So I'm just going through this one so that I'll get more space over here. That's it. So if I go to my container, so fluid is a container property, right? So if I give a comma over here and give fluid equals to true, once I save it, so if I go back over here, it will take this particular space over here. Okay, now we need to make another changes, like we need to give an ID for our accordion as well. So let's give an ID over here. So let's say DL underscore accordion over here. ACCORDION accordion over here. Okay, so this one we need when we will be doing our callbacks over here. So we created the accordion over here, we have given an ID. Now if I just see it here, like we have these things which is very easy to create, like we will be still following that bootstrap grid layout approach, right? So let us create that one. So what I'll do is I will create another variable over here. Okay, so I'll give it a name like initial paragraph content. Okay, similar way, whatever we did it over here, like dbc dot container. So inside that container, so now if you see it over here, if I just go back to this one, so we have two rows, right? The first row is having that header over here, and the second row is having the actual paragraph content over here, right? So that means we're talking about two rows over here. So similar way, inside that container, so this container again we will make fluid equals to true, correct, so that it will take up that space over here. It will take up that space over here. Now inside that container we will be creating two rows over here, right? dbc dot row, this will be the first row, and this will be, there will be another row. Let us create that one as well here, right? The first row will have that particular header over here, right? So let us create that here. So inside, as our contents are inside column, so we'll be creating dbc.call, right? And here inside that column it will be our content, so it will be simple HTML h3, right? And as we need it in bold way, right? If I just show you, it is a bold one, right? So I have just used HTML_B over here, nothing fancy over here. Okay, so that's why I just copy pasted it over here. So this is done. Now in the second row we have that particular paragraph. Similar way we'll be creating it, correct? So inside that row we will be having the call over here, right? Now inside that call we will be pasting that particular content over here. I'll just copy paste it. It will be just simple html.p over here. Okay, so this should be sufficient enough for that initial paragraph content, and this content will be displayed just after the breadcrumb, right? So what I'll do is I'll remove this guy now, and I will put this guy over here. Okay, and I'll give a comma over here. So if I just save it, and if we see it over here, so this is coming up over here with this one, with our accordion over here, right? Now one thing, if you see it, this accordion, this is the content of this accordion over here, right? Now I do not want to hard code it over here. I want to set it up when I will be basically clicking on that one, right? So that I will save that extra computing power over there, because if I just hard code it over here, it will be not good, right, for the dynamic contents over here. So for that, what I'll do is we need a callback over here, right? So let's work on a callback. So we will write in this way, just the way we did for do for callbacks, right? Just the way we do for callback, correct? So now inside my callback, I will have my inputs and outputs, and this will be my output one, and this will be my input one, right? And also we can pass states over here. I still not discuss states properly. Probably I will be covering it when the situation comes. Okay, now for each and every callback, I need to define a method over here, right? So let's define a method called update accordion items over here. Okay, now inside that, currently I'll just say pass. Okay, so that we can just generate the skeleton first. Now this is app is not defined, so we have to import the app over here. So that is there inside my app.py, right? This one we are going to import. So I'll say from app import app over here, so that will fix this particular stuff over here. Okay, so now what will be my input first? Okay, so my input, for input output also, do I have it? Yeah, I already have it over here from the dash dependencies, so that's fine. So input will be, so let me write it down here. So what will be my input over here? So which item I am basically seeing it first. So basically my input will be like when I will be clicking on this accordion over here, right? When I'll be clicking on over here, that means for this accordion, which is the current active item, so that is what my input will be, correct? Now for that reason, we have given an ID for our accordion over here, correct? So this is the ID for our accordion. So this for this accordion, and as we have seen in the documentation, right? So for the callbacks, we will be basically looking for this active item over here, correct? The active item over here. So I will just copy this one. Let's keep it over here. So this will be my input, right? Now what will be my outputs? Now according to our active items, I want to populate these 3 items over here, item contents over here, right? So that means my output will be, currently it will be 3 outputs, so I will be generating over here. So let us do that. Output, this is the first output. What will be the first output? The first item, this is the first item over here, right? Step 1. So we have given this particular ID over here, right? So this ID, and what is the property we will be updating it? We will be updating its children property, correct? children, children over here. Similarly, we will be adding the other outputs as well. So here, comma, here as well. So for the second one, we have given this ID. So let us give this ID over here. For the third one, we have given this ID. So let us give this ID over here. So these three things will be updated based on whatever items I will be selecting it over here, right? Now let us work on this method over here. But before that, so this is the content part, right? So let us now change it. So I will do one thing. I will make it as this one here, right? Because I can have more than one children over here, right? And here what we'll do is we will just create a simple div over here with ID equals to, so visualize imnist dataset div here. Probably I think we should be using this one in our output, not that item one. So let's do that one. So similarly here also we will be creating, because we are going to create multiple items over here, so it's better to create an array over here. Okay, so this thing is this div, training MNIST div over here. So let's do that one here. Similarly I will be creating for the third one as well, for the testing as well, right? So let's copy this and let's keep it over here as well. And here I'll just change the div name. Okay, so this one here, and this one is actually item underscore ID. I did a mistake over here. If I just see it, yeah, this is item underscore ID here. Okay, so this one we will be using it inside our callback. Okay, so this is also required here, because which item ID this callback is getting generated, we need to understand this one as well. So this will be our setup. So we will be dynamically updating this divs over here through our callback, right? So inside our callback, first of all we need to know, so we are having a single input. That means we will say accordion item over here. Okay, so this will be basically like the item ID of item IDs over here, right? So if I just say if this guy accordion item, right, double equals to, so if my item, that means visualize MNIST dataset, so if this particular item is active, correct, so I will be showing the content for that first item over here. So let us for now return a simple stuff. So for what I'll do is, so I'll just create three variables. Those three variables we will be passing it over here. Visualize MNIST. So initially I will be initialized as blank. Then I will have training MNIST. I'll just copy it from here. Training MNIST, and I will have the testing MNIST over here. The testing MNIST over here. Okay, so now when I will be clicking on this one, visualize MNIST dataset, so I will be passing only the value of this one over here. Okay, so this one, so for now I will be covering this part, like what we are going to display over there in the next video. So for now I'll just return a simple stuff. This is the content for MNIST visualization, MNIST viz. Okay, similarly if my accordion item is the second one, that means the training MNIST, this is the item ID, right, that will be passed over here. If the training MNIST, so this is the content for model training, let's say model training. Similarly for testing as well, we will do the similar stuff, correct? So here the item ID will be the testing MNIST over here. So the testing MNIST, and model testing over here. So we in near future we will be basically playing around with this contents, basically changing this content over here. For now I'm just simply returning a string over here, and then once I set those up, I will return these three guys over there. Okay, visualize mnist. If you see it, like, because of that if condition, so it will be only one of these three variables will be set, right, and the rest of the two will be unset over here, right? So that all the three panels, like all the three items over here, I may use like lot of heavyweight graphs over there, right? So all those three items will not be running together. One of them will be running together once I click this one here. So that's the idea here, right? So hopefully we did it correctly. So if I just save it, so let's see whether we are able to see this contents over here or not. So it is saying ID not found in the layout. So that means we need to add to the validation layout, right? So this is the way we did it before as well. So what I will do is, let's go to index.py. In the validation layout, so we have, so from our how neural networks learns, so this page, anyway, showcase page we do not have. No, we have it, right? So let's create this one here, how neural network learns dot. So we have these things over here, our DL content, right? So this is the main stuff we need it over there. I think if I just add this one, this should be fine here. So if I just go back and refresh the page, I think it should be gone over here. Okay, so if you see, like, by default this one will be open first, like this is the content for mnist viz, that is what we have returned it from our callback only, right? So if I just go back to over here, so this is the one we returned from our callback over here. Similarly, if I just click on this guy, let me see what's going on over here. These two things is not working. Okay, I just created same variable over here, that's the reason. I'll just paste it for the corresponding stuff over here. Okay, so this should be fine now. So if I just let it load, so this is for the viz page, this is for the model training, and this is for the model testing. And if you see, like, this div is actually dynamically getting updated over here, right? So whenever I'm clicking on this one, so this particular div is actually getting updated over here. So hopefully got a fair idea about how to create accordion in Plotly dash page, as well as like just an idea about how the next videos will be, right? So we will try to go deeper into this mnist dataset visualization now, then slowly move around that model training and other stuff over there. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. See you in the next video.